Good afternoon and welcome to the second webinar of the Drug Abuse Education and Prevention for Youth and Adolescents. The purpose of this webinar series is to educate families and caregivers on substance use disorders, types of substances most often used by adolescents, and community resources available to help support the families and their children. The goal is to increase youth engagement in substance use treatment. And we are hoping that our outcomes will be more of understanding substance use disorders and the prevalence in our youth, identifying the emerging substance abuse issues and trends within our community, understanding the stigma associated with drug abuse, identifying barriers to treatment, understand prevention and intervention strategies and feel comfortable implementing them, right? Identifying productive ways to talk with your kids about substance use, abuse, and prevention, and to feel more confident in retrieving resources to aid in youth substance use, abuse, prevention, and treatment. So in this second webinar, we're going to talk about stigma, cultural considerations, prevention, intervention, talking to kids about the substance use, and how to have effective conversations with them. Key factors are public drug dealing, intimidation within the local community, community disorganization. Cultural considerations, community, education, cultural pressures, poverty, media, all of these things, supportive families, resources, right? Culture plays a central role in forming the expectations of individuals about potential problems they may face around drug use. One aspect of recovery that is often overlooked is that of cultural recovery. Cultural recovery involves regaining a viable ethnic identity and acquiring a functional social network committed to the person's recovery, making a religious, spiritual, or moral recommitment, re-engaging in recreational or vocational activities, and gaining a social role in the recovering community, society at large, or both. Those individuals who fail to make a satisfactory cultural recovery are at risk for re-addiction. Prevention, school programs, tutoring and academic supports, family programs, counseling, various community programs. Community programs, checking your local community websites, communication with family and friends in school are a great resource to receive support. Intervention strategies, model school-based programs, family-based, individual and family counseling, community-based support groups, providing accountability with extra support. So let's talk a little bit about how to talk to our youth about substance use, right? These are important conversations. So we should have a clear goal and expectation from this conversation. Give your teen a heads up that you would like to talk to them about the drugs and alcohol. Springing a serious conversation on a teen can have really bad effects on the outcome. Plan to have a non-formal conversation about it in a very comfortable environment. Approach the conversation with an open mind, staying calm and relaxed. And be informed about the resources available that you're going to use with your facts about substance use while you're talking with your youth. Right? Having effective conversations with them. So here's some tips and strategies. engaging in active listening, not just doing all the talking, building that trusting relationship with them, listening to understand, not to respond, showing respect to the teen and talking to them as an adult, sharing similar experiences to convey that you understand what they're going through or what they're talking about. Ask open-ended questions. Engage in positive nonverbal communications and using the I messages, right? Try really hard not to lecture, pressure judgment, or interrupting them as they're speaking. Conversation starters. So when you're feeling down or stressed, lonely, or bored, what do you do to feel better, right? Sometimes people medicate with drugs and alcohol to avoid difficult feelings. So what are some of the healthier options? Name 2 things you would like to accomplish by the time you graduate from school. How could drugs or alcohol use get in your way of those goals, right? These are great, effective conversations to have with your youth. Thank you so much for joining us. Please go on to segment 3. And if you're interested, here are the references that we use to attain our information.